Welcome to The Grow Show, powered by Steel. On The Grow Show, we share ideas, tips, tactics, and insights to help you grow your landscaping business based on our team's 40 years of experience running a landscaping company and working with other owners and their teams to do the same. New episodes are released weekly on Wednesdays. Here's your host, Marty Grunder.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. This is Marty Grunder from Grunder Landscaping Company and the Grow Group with another exciting edition of The Grow Show, powered by Steel. I hope that during this episode that we find you having a lot of fun, getting ready to wrap up the year. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, now is not the time to take things off. So I thought I'd do a real quick, short episode this week and share with you 6 things that I think you ought to be doing here the rest of the year, this last month of the season. Number 1, thank your clients and thank your team. Celebrate the wins. And salespeople and owners, get those maintenance contracts renewed. Okay. You should have done that in October. You should have been out looking at jobs, talking to clients, ending your routes on a good note, doing a small little gift for the client. But if you haven't renewed them, get them renewed. But, you know, owners and leaders, it's time to thank your clients. Maybe you stop by and say hello. Maybe you handwrite them a note. Maybe you do a Christmas card. And the same thing goes with your team. It's the end of the year. And I think that sometimes we overdo this. You know, we think we have to do some elaborate party or we got to give everybody a big gift. If you're in a position financially to do something and it makes sense, fine. I'm not a big fan of spur of the moment. We're just going to give everybody a bonus. I just decided it, yada, yada, yada. Be better at planning and have a method to your madness, but certainly telling everyone thanks. I know our thing is we go to the food bank. We go down there at 12. Everybody gets paid to volunteer. We have pizzas. And then Seth takes a team and I take a team and we box up food for the needy. We play Christmas carols. We have a ton of fun. My team wins, always wins. I think Seth watches the Grow Show. I think every year we've done it, my team has won. I don't think Seth's team has ever won. So anyway, I digress. But we have a ton of fun and everybody looks forward to that day. So I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in that we got to have some fancy party that we post on LinkedIn and everything else. I think it's more about the thought. It's more about sincerity. It's more about smiling and laughing. Just take some time and show your team, show your clients that you appreciate them. You need them, folks. And then number 2, second thing here is I think you got to remember that December is 8% of your year. And if you don't make it count, your competitor will. You know, the fact that you're through Thanksgiving and you're just going to take the last month off, don't do that. There's so much you can do. And part of what we talked about last week, which I'll mention a couple more times during this episode of the Grow Show powered by Steel, is that, you know, a growth mindset is someone that always goes for it, goes after it, is positive. And we don't want our team thinking that December is the month that we just don't do anything. Good grief, there's so many things you can do. So don't take December off. Number 3, your plan that you're working on. It needs to be about execution and not just creating things. Think in terms of your people. Who are your new hires? How is our retention? Where can we do better there next year? Our property, our enhancements, our desks, our projects. You know, what are the things that we have that we need to work on and get better at? Equipment. Do we know what we're buying, what we're getting rid of, what we're going to sell, what we're maintaining, you know? And then I think this is the biggest thing, like take some time to think, like, where do you want to be personally? Where do you want to be with your family? Where do you want to be in business a year from now? And what does that look like? And then the plan would become like, what do I need to do between now and the end of next year to be in a better place personally, to be in a better place with my family, to be in a better place with my business? So personally, maybe you're not happy with your weight or your fitness. Well, what are you going to do? You know, good fitness starts with walking. That's a simple thing even old guys like me can do, okay? Eating better, making better choices. Maybe you didn't get to spend as much time with your family as you would like. Well, maybe make a commitment that you're going to grow a manager so that you can take 3 weeks vacation next year instead of a week and a half. You know, where do you want to be personally and with your family and with the business? You know, thinking through those things from a strategic perspective. In our ACE groups, accountability creates excellence. In our peer groups, every time we meet in person, every member has to give a 3-minute update. And they have to talk about progress that they've made in the last 3 months on personal things, on family, on business, and we keep track of them. And we push and we hold others accountable for them. So it's not that hard. Again, I think we overthink stuff. For years I looked for magical silver bullets, a new piece of software, a new truck, the big client that we finally landed. And when I look back at the biggest things that made an impact on me and have made an impact on me personally, with my family and with my business, are small incremental progress on all those things. It's not about training for a marathon. It's about walking. It's about eating right. It's not about taking your family on a trip to Europe. It could simply be a 10-hour car ride to a national park, and it's about the time. In business, there's so many things that I think we overcomplicate and overthink. So spend the last month here planning. Number 4, this is a tactical thing where I think we make mistakes. I'm flattered. Many people say to me, how do you do all the things you do? I don't understand how you do it all. Well, a lot of it is because, folks, I plan. Like, I have things planned in my calendar. I've got important dates blocked out right now. It drives me nuts to not know where I'm going or what we're doing. We've got Grow planned out for 2025. We know what we're doing next year in the business. My wife and I know what we're doing for vacation. My youngest daughter's getting married next year, so we've got to make sure we block that out. So block your big items out on your calendar and be wise about that. The more planning that you do personally, with your family, and with your business, the better off you're going to be. All planning is good. Number 5, I would push you to read 2 books between now and the end of the year. Now, you're going to sit here and think, well, Marty, I can't read 2 books in the next 30 days or so. Yes, you can. Okay. There is so much time that you spend looking at social media on your phone, watching some brain dead television show. Pick out some books. And I would pick out one on leadership, and I would pick one out on growing a business. And I went on my bookcase before I came up here, and I'm going to make 5 recommendations to you. This is a tremendous book on leadership. I read it every year. I've read it about 30 times, and every time I read it, it reminds me of the little things I need to do on a daily basis to win friends and influence people. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. My friend, Dr. John Maxwell, this is probably the best book ever written on leadership, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's a fantastic book. This book is one that you could read with your team. There's 21 chapters. You could read 2 chapters a week, 3 chapters a week with them if you want to go through the winter. But I were you, I would read it first. This is just a terrific book that provokes thought. You'll like it. It's easy to read, and it's fun. So those are 2 books on leadership. And then I'm going to share with you 3 books that I like on growing your company. Smart business owners and leaders of companies know that if you don't have the culture right in your company, it's not going to grow. You get the culture right, folks. People start doing the right things naturally, and you'll grow your business. The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. This is a top 5 book that I've ever read in my life. Look at it. It's a good one. And then next, I'm going to give a little bit of a self-promotion. Anyone watching the Grow Show that is in the first couple years of their business, or you're smaller, I think some of our veterans, you've heard me speak for so long. I don't think any messages in my book. Believe it or not, this book is 20 years old this year. The 9 Super Simple Steps to Entrepreneurial Success. Some of you probably watching the podcast are like, you wrote a book? Yeah, I wrote a book. Sometime soon, I'm going to have another one coming out. But this is a really good book to help you grow your business, especially if you're new to business. And then last but not least, and this is an emotional one for me to talk to you about. This is from my friend who passed away a couple months ago, Mr. Clay Mattil. And he was a tremendous mentor to me, folks. Just those of you that have followed me, you know what an impact he's had on me. I wouldn't have the landscaping company I have if it weren't for Clay. This is a fantastic book. Run your business. Don't let it run you. You can get it on Amazon. You can buy it at Aileron, the school that he started outside of Dayton, Ohio there. I think they sell it on their website. I'm sure you can buy it on Amazon. It's a great book. It's an easy read. And I think when you read the book, you're going to see where I got a lot of my ideas. So look, folks, those are the things I'd like you to do. And then the last thing I want you to do, number 6, have a couple drinks. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, whatever you want to do, a hot chocolate, a Starbucks, a coffee, sit around a fire, go on a walk, look at Christmas lights, and ponder life. Okay. We talked about a growth mindset last week. I already told you about planning and other things, but I really want to drive this home. I want you to think about how you act on a daily basis. When you scan back through 2023 in your business career, what are some things you've done that you regret? You personally as a leader, and then how could you make 2024 your best year ever? Get in that mindset, make a commitment. I can tell you all kinds of stories. Ronald Reagan, when he was 55 years old, was starring in a movie called Bedtime for Bonzo. And he would go on to be, in my opinion, the best president we've ever had. Okay. I'm 55 years old. He had no thoughts of being a president, didn't think about it, and he went on to become a wonderful president, a wonderful leader who brought both sides together, something we could use right now. So I'm just here to tell you, no matter where you are in your stage of life, you can push the reset button, but you don't got to wait till January 1 to do that. Think about what you want to do. Think about what kind of change you want to make. Think about what you want people to say about you after you're gone and make a difference, okay? Number one, thank your clients and your team. Remember, December is 8% of the year. Look at your plan, but remember, it's not ready, aim, fire. It's not ready, aim, fire. It's ready, aim, fire, go. Remember that, execute. Block some big items out on your calendar. Read a couple books. I showed you some good examples. The best one is Run Your Business, Don't Let It Run You by the late, great Clay Mattel. And then ponder life. Take a walk. Think about how much you had to be grateful for in the past year, and how can you spend more time doing the things that bring you the most joy. And I'm sure work brings you some joy. We know you're going to work a lot. But what are the other rewards? And how could you make your business better? And guess what? You make yourself better, you're going to make your business better. All right. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Grow Show. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and head to growgroupinc.com for more information and resources to grow your landscaping business. A special thanks to the folks at Stihl, whose support makes this podcast possible and whose reliable handheld power equipment makes our jobs easier daily. We'll talk to you next week.